Today we are doing a comprehensive answer to the twin flame signs question, and I'm so pumped for this. I feel really good about this video today. My name is Susie. I'm a certified twin flame ascension coach, been on my twin flame journey for a while. I've had a false twin flame. I'm going to talk to you about that and some the signs there. I met my true twin flame. Like, I know who he is. We're building a relationship together. And I've been able to see those signs in my relationship with him too, right? So let's get started. Okay, we're going to go through 3 different sections here. The first is going to be things you think are signs that they're your twin flame, but aren't actually necessarily signs. Okay, I was gonna get into kind of like the pop new agey twin flames rhetoric that's out there in some places. The second section we're gonna go through is things that are signs, right, that you will experience with your twin flame, but that I've also seen people and myself even experience with a false twin flame too. Okay, because I think it's important to look at that distinction, right? And then finally, we are going to deep dive into some of like my favorite true twin flame signs, right? Things that happen with real twin flames, okay? And maybe even discuss why you might not always recognize those signs. Might take you a minute, okay? So let's get started. Things we think are twin flame signs, but aren't necessarily, right? And I might be disappointing some people, might be bursting a few bubbles, but it's because it's important, and I love you, and I want to see you like actually make progress on your journey, not just live in la la land. So the first is going to be scene 1111. This is like the quintessential twin flame number, and so you might be thinking, how can you possibly tell me that's not a sign on the twin flame journey? And here's the thing, 1111 can be a sign. It can be a synchronicity. It can tell you that you are in alignment. It can encourage you on your path. It can say, keep going, keep healing that block, like go and be bold and be brave and embrace this person, right? 1111 can make you feel really affirmed and encouraged and relaxed, and that is part of the purpose often when you see it, right, is to keep you going, because like being on your twin flame ascension journey is for your highest good, right? But sometimes if like the universe were to drop on you the challenges you're gonna overcome at the beginning, you'd be like, nope, right? But instead, the universe, God, the divine, is really loving and instead is going to encourage you and love you in the exact moments you need it. And that's why you're going to see 1111 a lot. But it is not a sign that the person you're talking to is your twin flame, right? It might be that the person you're talking to is your twin flame, but 1111 itself isn't this like infallible sign, right? So don't rely on the angel numbers entirely, okay? Number 2, right? Sorry, I'm like looking at my list too. The Kundalini awakening, okay? So I will not pretend to be an expert in like Eastern spirituality, right? However, one thing I am an expert in is twin flames, and what I can tell you is that Kundalini awakening is common on the twin flame journey, right? Like a lot of people do experience it, but that doesn't necessarily mean somebody is your twin flame, right? Just because you had it in the time frame of like interacting with them, okay? Because that's you making that like core choice and alignment to experience the Kundalini awakening and that energy rising up, right? And your true twin flame might feel that on some level. The person you're interacting with might kind of notice that in you too. They might also be going through their own thing, but it's, again, Kundalini awakening is not this like infallible twin flame sign, right? But it is a really good indicator that you're making some inner shifts on your journey, right? That you're changing, you're awakening, you're moving forward. Okay. So this doesn't invalidate the Kundalini awakening itself, but don't like fall back on that and say, well, this person must be my twin flame because I had my Kundalini, awakening then. Not necessarily. Okay. Next thing, and these are going to kind of go hand in hand, is telepathy. Okay. And these synchronicities you experience with someone. I'll go look at telepathy first with you. So the first thing with telepathy is these telepathic experiences you have could be with your twin flame, right? Like your twin flame's core essence. But that doesn't necessarily mean the person you're physically around is the same person you're having that telepathic experience with, okay? And on top of that, your consciousness and subconsciousness will present to you in your inner world your twin flame in the way you are most comfortable seeing or need to see, right? So if you're having like a twin flame dream, for example, about someone, that doesn't mean that that specific individual is your twin flame, but it does mean that your consciousness is kind of maybe sensing aspects of your twin flame in that person, or is even projecting your twin flame onto that person, or that's just how you're comfortable like witnessing your twin flame, right? And on top of that, right, if we're going to take this a little bit deeper and be a little bit more honest, right, sometimes those telepathic experiences you have are actually like your inner deeper heart, right, reassuring you and giving you like that validation that you need to continue forward to, right? So I would not advise you to use like the telepathic experiences as like, again, infallible evidence that they're your twin flame, because it's not necessarily. It can be a multitude of things, right? But you can experience telepathy with your true twin flame. That can happen. But just know, like, it's especially when you're haven't developed a lot of experience on the journey yet, a lot of experience with the teachings of union specifically, I would not use that telepathy as this just like infallible sign, right? Because your bubble will probably get burst later on. Synchronicities, right? Very similar to telepathy. You choose on some level to experience synchronicities, right? And you are so powerful as a manifester that they happen, okay? So again, you're gonna probably experience synchronicities with your true twin flame, but you're also gonna experience synchronicities in general, right? You're gonna manifest them on your journey. So just because you experience a synchronicity with someone doesn't mean they're your twin flame, like 100% for sure, right? Don't rely on just the synchronicity. Remember, you're manifesting what you need to keep going on your journey, okay? So like don't attach to you showing up wearing the same color shirt as someone, or flying to the same location as someone, or walking down the street and seeing that person, right? Like that doesn't necessarily mean they're your twin flame. It can be an indicator to keep going and keep exploring with that person and follow that tug that says there's something there, right? But that by itself isn't going to be the infallible evidence that they're your twin flame, okay? And finally, the last thing I want to talk about is a lot of people think that intense chemistry with someone is indicative of a twin flame. Now, it's very possible you will have like instant chemistry with your twin flame, right? But it's also possible you won't, right? Some people don't even recognize their twin flame when they first meet them. I didn't recognize my twin flame when I first met him, right? I was just like, oh, this is a really cool, sweet dude. Like, just chill, okay? But that depth of connection, that depth of peace, that richness, that love and that passion between twin flames is something that is cultivated, and it's something you're always going deeper in, and you build as you continue to walk the ascension journey, right? And you might experience some of it right away, right? But just because you have a really intense chemical connection with someone doesn't mean 100% that they're your twin flame. They could be, right? But they could also be a karmic connection or a soulmate or a false twin flame, right? Or it could just be that you're, I don't know, a little excited at that time, okay? I don't know, okay? But don't rely on that by itself as a sign that somebody is your twin flame. Now we're going to check out some things that happen with your true twin flame, but you might also notice they happen with your false twin flame too, right? So if you have a false twin flame, not everybody is going to have a false twin flame. That is not a requirement on your journey, okay? So you will notice, right, your twin flame will mirror you, right? And if you have a false twin flame experience, you're gonna see some mirroring with your false twin flame too, right? So just the mirroring by itself isn't necessarily the sign of a twin flame, right? Because what's happening, the mechanism that's occurring with the false twin flame is they're mirroring your current vibration, right? But when you heal and you transcend that vibration and go deeper in your true, like, divine self, right, you're gonna notice the false twin flame falls off, right? And they're not really mirroring your healing anymore, right? And that's how you know they're a false twin flame. Okay, but your true twin flame will continue to mirror your healing back to you. They'll continue to go deeper with you as you heal. Okay, so just know that that's the nuance there. That's the difference, okay? Now, another thing that someone might think is a twin flame sign is seeing just like a lot of surface level similarities between the two of you, right? Like, oh, we study, do the same thing, in the same career, like, you know, like the same hobbies or interests or whatever, right? That's, again, possible with your true twin flame, right? And there will be a lot of like core resonance with you and your true twin flame. But on that surface level, right, you will probably notice with the false twin flame some similarities too, right? Because again, they're like meeting you at that current vibrational state, right? But they're not capable of going deeper with you eternally, right, beyond your present vibrational state. Okay. The next one, I had to look at my list. The next one we want to talk about that happens with both true and false twin flames, right, are just, and this is similar to that chemistry, but just that general level of like attraction, right, and that pull. Okay, so just kind of being pulled to someone doesn't necessarily indicate that they're your twin flame, right? If they feel like your twin flame, please fully explore it, right? Like take that journey, walk that path, get to know them, get to know yourself, go deeper in the healing. Like you are going to reveal the truth no matter what, right? But to be like so honest and straightforward with you, like just being pulled to someone isn't an infallible sign that they're your twin flame. But that pull isn't something you ignore, right? That pull is manifesting because there's something there for you to look at for whatever reason, right? I don't know what the reason is for you, but there's something there for you, okay? But that doesn't 110% mean that they're your twin flame, right? It just might be part of your path in healing. It might also be that they are your twin flame, right? But the pull itself isn't like infallible sign, right? Finally, the last thing I want to talk about that happens with your true twin flame and can happen with a false twin flame as well, right, is going to be that sense, and not everyone kind of gets this, just, you know, people who are sensitive to it pick up on it for whatever reason, but that sense that you've lived past lives with someone, right, doesn't always indicate a true twin flame, right? Because someone can feel like, oh, we've done this before, because you have, like, maybe you're still working out that karma with them, right? Working out whatever you haven't let go of with them yet, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean they're your twin flame. You most likely like have definitely had past lives with your twin flame, and so you will pick up on that with your true twin flame as well if you're someone who does pick up on those things. But just picking up on like, oh, like we've done this before, that's not 100% a sign that someone's your twin flame, right? It can happen with a false twin flame, with soulmate, with karmic, like whatever, okay? Not an infallible sign. I keep using that term, and that's because we are finally in the place where we are going to talk about some, yes, 100% signs that somebody is your true twin flame. I'm so happy we are finally at the real twin flame signs. So I want to be like transparent with you, right, from the outset. These signs, like some of them you're gonna think you get them, right, and then as you persist on your journey and go deeper in the healing, and you know, hopefully you're using the mirror exercise and the teachings of union, right? If not, please check it out below instead of wasting your time doing stuff that doesn't work. As you persist, you're gonna develop like this very deep level of like spiritual maturity and discernment, and you're gonna become extra sensitive to love and what is true and what the divine truth is, and you're gonna be able to look at these true twin flame signs and really pin them down effectively, right? So what I'm saying is a lot of these signs are going to require you to just go deeper in experiencing the twin flame journey in order for you to like really have that 100% clarity on them, right? And there may frankly come a time on your journey where you think you have clarity on something, but then as you go deeper and you heal, you realize there was more there for you to uncover. And that's cool. That's part of the ascension path. That's part of discovering more of yourself to love. And that's part of discovering like your true twin flame and revealing them and who they are to you. So let's jump in, because I know that's what you want me to do. The first grandest sign is going to be your twin flame will always mirror your core healing back to you, okay? And let's pick this apart. So I get a lot of people, like I just didn't ask me anything on Instagram, and someone was like, I'm healing, but my twin flame isn't reflecting it. Like, what's going on, right? So let's be so real about this. Your healing has to be like true, right? And when your healing is true, when you've healed that block at the core, and when you've healed that block, not because you're trying to get something from your twin flame, but because you have a genuine desire to come back home to love in that space, and let go of ego and separation consciousness, right? Your twin flame is going to mirror that choice back to you. They will, 100% of the time, because you are one with your twin flame at the core. Twin flames make the same core choices, right? And again, I will remind you of my earlier disclaimer. It is going to take some experience for you to have the discernment. It's going to take some experience for you to have the discernment to really recognize when you've healed something at the core and when your twin flame is not mirroring it back to you. I had a client where we worked for 2 years on some stuff, and it felt like her twin flame wasn't mirroring it back. So we finally came to that conclusion, like, false twin flame, right? And then, right, when she truly let him go, when she truly turned back to God, did the inner work, like loved herself for the sake of her, not to get something from her twin flame, he popped back into her reality and, resolved his ish, right, and was ready to have whatever relationship that she desired to have with him, right? And for him to do his inner work too. And I share that with you to highlight the fact that, like, she worked for a long time persisting on this and let him go completely, and still he came back and revealed that he was her twin flame, right? Even though we thought he wasn't, because he didn't seem to be mirroring her core choices, right? Didn't seem to be mirroring her healing completely. And that illustrates, right, that it's deeper than the surface level terms you might be thinking in, right? It's deeper than, well, I do like myself, so why doesn't my twin flame like me, right? It's deeper than that, my friend. I guarantee you. And that's not, I don't say that to deter you or to slow you down or make you feel bad. I say that because I want you to have an awareness of, like, how profound this journey is, right? And it really means that you're coming back home to love, and your true twin flame is going to be there when you truly come back home to love and heal in that place that is blocking your union. Okay, and sometimes that place is a little bit deeper than you think it is. It really depends on your unique journey. Okay, but your twin flame is always going to mirror your healing back to you. Okay, now, next sign, your twin flame is going to have those same core values that you do, and, like, your vision for life is going to just, like, mesh together, right? But here's the trick. You have to come to know yourself and what your true values are, right? You have to come to know yourself and what your vision for life really is. Not what your vision for life is with this person, right? But what you truly desire out of life, no matter what, like, regardless of what specific person your twin flame is, right? And when you have clarity on that, so will your twin flame. And then when you have that discussion, you'll realize the union there between the two of you. But if you are not clear on that, and in some shape or form, your twin flame will also not be clear on that, and it'll seem like you're different, right? And it'll seem like there's friction there, right? And that, I see that a lot, right? People think, like, oh, my twin flame, like, believes something totally different than me, and I'm like, well, let's dig a little bit deeper on what that's actually revealing here, right? So again, something that takes time to get to know yourself, and space to get to know your twin flame too, right? To really reveal and confirm, like, this is my twin flame. Now, next sign, let me check my list, is when, I kind of said this earlier, but it bears repeating. Like if someone's your true twin flame, like when you truly give that person to God, right? And when I say give that person to God, I mean, you stop trying to like energetically like pander at them for something, right? You stop trying to control them. You stop trying to get love or attention or validation from them, right? You let them be with God, right? And you trust God to handle them. They end up boop, right there with you, right? And every time you give them back to God, they're right there with you, right? Because when you give them back to God, their true place is at your side, and your true place is at their side, right? So when you truly surrender, they're right there, right? And that's something that will only happen with your true twin flame, right? But again, here's the catch. Truly surrender, right? No like little bit of, I'm gonna hang on to this little piece, right? And hope it turns out this way. None of that, right? Truly give them to God. Release the attachment, right? That's what you got to do. And it's okay for it to be a journey to truly come to that. It's been a journey for me to truly come to that within myself, right? And that's cool. That's real. That's what real healing looks like. It doesn't look like you do a meditation and then suddenly everything's clear. That's called getting spiritually like high, right? And sometimes that's cool, right? And that's kind of what you need to awaken you. But right now, like, I'm talking to you about real stuff, right? Like really shifting your consciousness and your vibration and deeply and sustainably aligning with love. Now, some lighter fare here. Another sign that's only going to be true with your true twin flame, and again, requires that you really take that journey of coming to know yourself and being present like with your feelings, is your true twin flame is going to feel like home to you. Okay? Nobody's going to feel more deeply familiar and like home, not even like close best friends, family members, right? Like when you really get to know your twin flame and they really get to know you and you have a relationship, like it just feels like home, right? Nobody else matches it. And that is something that is only true with your true twin flame. Okay, so now bringing us to the next sign, which is very, very sweet. I love this sign, and this is a sign that for me, I was really numbed out to it for a long time. And with my false twin flame, I thought this sign was true, right? And the sign is that at the core, you adore your twin flame above all others, and they adore you above all others, right? And I thought this was true with my false twin flame, but I was totally like numbed out to the truth, and that like my true twin flame is the person I really do like completely 100% adore, like much more so than my false twin flame. And that is a sign of a true twin flame. Like when you honestly look within your soul at a person, you just adore them, right? And adore doesn't mean you put them on a pedestal. It doesn't mean you think they're better than you, right? But it's really speaking to like seeing the heart of this person and is being completely in love with them at their core for who they are, and seeing they're divine and just like a lovely person, and you wouldn't trade them for anything, because they just like, you see that they are that lovely and they are that perfect, and that's you, right? That's you reflecting God's love for your twin flame back to them, and them doing the same for you, which I think is really beautiful. So the next one we're going to talk about is, again, as you like come to know your twin flame, you're going to realize you're perfectly complementary to each other. And that doesn't mean you're carbon copies, right? You're not carbon copies, right? You might have different interests, different skill sets, different things, you know, you prefer to do in the relationship, right? But you're gonna find that it just fits. It's perfectly complementary to one another, and there's no friction there. And if you experience friction and you apply the mirror exercise, which again I linked below, okay, and you heal the block, it resolves the friction, and you realize, you know, whatever the truth is there between the two of you, and whatever peaceful, juicy revelation you called in there. When you do the healing, there's always perfect harmony there between the two of you. It's nothing else but perfect harmony when you do the healing. With someone else, like literally anyone else but your twin flame, you do the healing. There isn't going to be that perfect harmony there in a romantic relationship. There's kind of a wall you hit, and it stops being harmonious. But with your twin flame, it never stops, right? With your twin flame, conflict that comes up is actually an opportunity to build deeper peace between the two of you. And anytime you heal what that conflict brings up, you go deeper in peace and deeper in how perfectly complementary you are together, right? Now, coming to the next sign I want to talk about, and this one is going to sound a little bit more woo-woo, and for a long time I felt very just like this sign felt impenetrable for me. I didn't know how to approach it. But in the book Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover, which is going to have all of the fundamentals you need to know about the twin flame journey, and you know, it's kind of the starting point for the teachings of union, it's linked below too. There's a sign that talks about you, when you deeply meditate on this person, you will see that, you know, you and your twin flame have that same core resonance, that same core soul blueprint, right? And for the longest time, it was like I don't know how to do that, right? and I think if you're being honest with yourself, like, I don't think you do either. You know, like, I won't get too far into that, but like, let's say we want to play games in our mind and in our heads about, like, you know, coming together in the 5D with your twin flame, because that's not what that sign is about. But I did finally understand that sign when I confirmed my true twin flame, and I want to communicate that to you and share it with you. But as I was in the process of like really like owning and recognizing my true twin flame, I had this moment of revelation where I did just feel into him as a person, and you know everything in my heart I know about him and love about him, and I felt that, and I felt who he was at the core, and I felt this resonance, and I felt this like not quite a mirror, but it was like I was looking at me, right? Like this same, like, oh God, like, is this play about me? Is that you kind of feeling? and I felt that we were the same at the core, right? We were one at the core, and there is just no argument there. And that is your true twin flame, right? Is that person that you are one with at the core, that is just like you, me, I, you, huh? That is your true twin flame. And you might have that moment of revelation too. You can't force it. If you're trying to force it, you're trying to like grab at it, it's not gonna work, right? You just kind of got to surrender and be open to who your true twin flame is, and it'll be revealed to you, right, in perfect divine order. But that was my moment of revelation, and when I truly understood, like, same soul blueprint, when you truly meditate on who they are, and it wasn't like I thought about it in my head and overthought, like, you know, who he is as a person and his personality traits and qualities. It was like, I just felt it. I just saw it, right? It's truly a moment of revelation. So that is going to be a true twin flame sign. Okay. Finally, I think I had one more, and it's a beautiful sign. And it's that, you know, and remember, you and your twin flame make the same core choices. So a sign of a true twin flame is when you truly choose love, they always meet you there, right? When you truly come to them in love, not in fear or anxiousness over how they're going to respond to you, or, you know, entitlement to what you think the relationship should be, but just truly love and openness. They're going to meet you there. They have to, like, they're the same as you, right? And your twin flame's never going to abandon you in love. They can't, right? Now, again, nuance to this, spiritual experience and maturity to this, you might experience blocks and upsets where it feels like your twin flame has left you in love or abandoned you in love, right? But if you were abandoning yourself on some level, or not accepting all of you on some level, then you're gonna have that experience mirrored to you with your twin flame, right? Sorry, but when you truly come to them, just in love, right? Not perfection, just love. They're right there. They're right there every gosh darn time. I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything else, but they're right there every gosh darn time. And that is a sign of a true twin flame. So to wrap this up and give you some concluding remarks here, I know you might be listening to that true twin flame sign list and thinking, you know, well, I have to get to know this person better. And yeah, that's the point. You do kind of, you know, need to go through that experience of getting to know yourself and getting to know them as well. And that's cool, right? That's cool. That's part of the twin flame ascension journey. Those other things you experience, like Kundalini awakening, synchronicities, the mirroring, you know, those are part of your journey too, right? Don't give up just because you haven't confirmed your true twin flame with the signs I listed, right, in the latter half of the video. You have to persist on the journey and in healing what comes up, right? With whoever you feel in your heart your twin flame is, you have to heal what comes up there, and what comes up in your relationship with them in order to find the truth, right? That's what it is. I can't I can't pretend it's something else. But it's okay. Like, if you do end up being one of those people who does have a false twin flame, I can tell you from experience, it's not the end of the world. And actually, if you come out when you do come out on the other side of it, right? If you persist, you will come out on the other side of it. You're actually gonna feel pretty grateful for that experience too, and see how it was just perfectly fitting into your twin flame ascension journey, and it perfectly served you, right? It perfectly served me. That's another video, but it did, right? And so the message here is, like, walk the path, right? Don't get too attached to who your twin flame might be. Just walk the path, move through the feelings, right? Use the teachings of union, use the mirror exercise, talk to your twin flame ascension coach, like, heal what is coming up and let it unfold. Allow the truth to unfold for you, because it does. It really does. But you have to let go of that control and let go of any, that anxiousness, and just let it happen. Okay. So I would love to hear about your experiences and You know, if you have questions, just drop them below. Please definitely like the video and comment on it if you got something from it. And I will see you next time.